It's 34 years to the day since the Americans with Disabilities Act was passed by Congress.
On this very day.
Yeah.
That's right. Here to share insight on its significance and lasting impact is the Executive Director of CareChest, Ann McNulty.
Morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Pleasure.
Oh, of course. It's wonderful to have you on. So before we get into ADA, tell us a little bit about what CareChest does.
Sure. CareChest is a Nevada nonprofit. We provide free medical resources to low-income Nevadans. So things like durable medical equipment, diabetic testing supplies, medical nutrition. We do home modifications, vehicle modifications, assistive technology as well. And all of those are free of charge for folks that are low income and are, in vital need of these different resources.
Right. How does the ADA impact CareChest's work that you guys do?
Well, basically everything we do is kind of geared around folks with disabilities, people who have a disability of some type. And so we were founded back in 1990, the same year that the ADA was passed, and we were founded to get donations of durable medical equipment and loan those back out to folks. And so, vital things like wheelchairs, walkers, hospital beds, those are very impactful for people who have a disability or even have had a surgery or something like that. And so we're very intertwined, and I like to think that the ADA is making sure that this protected class of folks with the disability has access to accessibility and fairness across all these different titles that they have within the ADA. And so we're just promoting that. We're trying to be one cog in the wheel of people and agencies to help support that.
Now, the Act itself comes with protections. What are those?
Well, there's five different titles, and there's protections for employment so that people have access to employment that have a disability. There's all kinds of different new amendments that passed after the original act was passed too. There's things around planning for accessibility within a city. I mean, accessibility of housing, and there's a very low number of accessible houses across the state for people who need, to be living independently, and so those are all things that are a part of that.
Yeah, how can we all do a better job of creating safe, inclusive spaces for people of varying abilities?
Well, I think knowledge is important. I think people need to be educated and understand, that it's difficult. A lot of these different places that people try to go are not accessible even still, and so that's important. Just to have an open mind about all sorts of things like websites and brochures. All of that needs to be accessible for folks. And there's a lot of new information on how to do that and make sure that people that are sight impaired or hearing impaired have access to be able to understand what those different documents and websites say.
Yeah, I think sometimes people get bogged down in thinking just like stairs, ramps, lifts, and they forget about so many other aspects of life.
So much more.
And on that, I mean, public support for organizations like yours are really, really vital. So what can we do as a community to help what you're doing?
Well, we love donations of obviously money, but donated used durable medical equipment is huge for us. You have a walker or a wheelchair just sitting in your garage collecting dust, donate it to CareChest. We're able to make sure that that's in good working condition and loan it back out to someone. Donate your time. We are in very much need of volunteers down here in Las Vegas, and so our office is newer down here. We've opened this office in 2020, and so volunteering your time is an amazing gift to us.
Yeah.
I think, there's obviously still a lot of work to do, but I think it's also encouraging people like CareChest, and ADA in general, just the steps and leaps that have been made since 1990 in the support and inclusivity realm. Something to talk about the positivity of it all.
Exactly. And, our state does have some programs that we manage, the Independent Living Program that's funded by the state. They gave us an additional $1 million this year to try and get the services that people need to have home modifications done so they remain independent in their home, don't have to go into institutional settings like, long-term care and things like that. And so that extra funding from the state is impactful, and they are making an effort.
Well, thank you for coming in.
Thank you for
so
Thank
much
you.
for
the work
joining
you
us.
did.
Yes.
Thank you.
To learn more about the work CareChest does, visit carechest.org.